I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and this is the PC Engine Files. To date, I haven't played a game on this series that I would consider lost media, but Niko Niko Pun probably comes as close as anything ever will, because finding specific information about the TV show that this game is based on is very hard to do. After extensive searching, I came up with one entry on my anime list. It's very short, and it's downright demeaning to the people involved. Quote, anime spin-off from a children's show that featured out-of-work actors dressed up as a giant mouse, penguin, and lion, itself part of the Japanese Watch With Mother TV show for the preschool audience. So I sense about 3 insults in the course of one sentence. It's a spin-off of a show, so it's not really its own show. It features out-of-work actors, which suggests the people on it had nothing better to do than be on this spin-off show. And it's part of a Watch With Mother preschool show series that's definitely intended for the teeniest, tiniest of babies, as Strongbad would say. So you can imagine this is not a very popular entry on my anime list. It's ranked number 11,533, and in popularity it's ranked number 15,597, which means there are 15,596 other things considered to be anime that are more popular than Niko Niko Pun. Technically, if even one person knows it, it's not lost media, but if this was a media glacier, it would be somewhere nautical miles beneath the surface, unseen, undiscussed, and unknown until somebody runs into it, which is exactly what I did here. And since the game itself is very simplistic and not entirely fascinating to play, just going down the rabbit hole trying to find out more about this one was more interesting. So I came across one of those quote-unquote out-of-work actors who actually has a credit for being part of Niko Niko Pun, and that would be Ryusei Nakao, or Nakao Ryusei, whichever way you're correctly supposed to say it. I think last name first is the way that's preferred, but it is something that he worked on, playing the character Porori, but neither the show nor the character Porori have any entries on Wikipedia. Those are both dead ends. So if you're looking for voice actors, he's the only one you can find attached to this show. It's certainly not what he's best known for, so maybe he really was, quote, out of work, unquote, at the time he was part of the show, because these days you would know him better from the Dragon Ball series as Tambourine, Frieza, Cooler, Chilled, and Frost, from Bleach as Mayuri Kurosuchi, from One Piece as Caesar Clown, and from Beast King Go Lion as Takashi Shirogane. So there is a 99.99999% chance that if you knew the name, and I'm sure Emperor Big D from Geekdom 101 knew it the moment I said it, you would know him from any of those things and not Niko Niko Pun. There is slightly more information about the video game than the TV show it's based on, such as an entry on the video game den which reads as follows. 3 creatures, a cat, a bird, and a mouse, arrive on an island where they find a cute little dragon. The poor thing is starving, and they decide to go and help him by finding him his favorite foods, which basically sums up everything you're watching me do right now. You scroll from left to right, picking up whichever fruit is indicated in the menu bar at the top, and once you get 3 of them and reach the end of the stage, you can feed them to the dragon, and he grows a little bigger. And you do it again in the next stage. Nothing impedes your progress. If you bump into enemies too much, you get dizzy for a little while and can't move, but then you completely recover. You don't lose a life. You also don't have any weapons in this game. You can move and you can jump, but you can't attack anything on the screen, so you're no threat to the monsters, and they're no threat to you. The only thing that impedes your progress is having to avoid the patterns so they don't slow you down too much, because sometimes you'll get like birds that swoop down or bees that buzz at you, and if you don't want that delay when you get knocked dizzy, you want to avoid them by ducking under them or jumping over them. That's really the only challenge. You can tell that Niko Niko Pun was a show for the smallest of children, and the game was possibly for those even smaller than that. There is no discernible death threat. This is an entirely friendly game. This is distilling the essence of Adventure Island and Wonder Boy down to its two core constituents, moving left to right and collecting items. That's all you do. If you like an absolutely minimal challenge game, then Niko Niko Pun might provide you some entertainment for a little while, but as another review on the PC Engine Bible said, you'll be reaching for the mute button before the end because this music is tinny, tedious, and repetitive. So I don't want to give whoever at NHK or KSS composed it any credit whatsoever. It is dreadful to listen to. If you're going to play this game, I sincerely recommend that you pick the soundtrack to any PC Engine game you like, put it on your stereo, and listen to that instead. You don't need to hear the action button because all you're doing is jumping. You don't need to hear the puzzles in any of the mini games because you're just sliding tiles around. What do you need the sound effects for that for? There are no sound effects you would be missing by muting the soundtrack to this game. Niko Niko Pun is one of the more affordable PC Engine games, probably because it's not in any significant demand. You can find it loose for $15, $17.99 with free shipping. You can find it complete for $25 with free shipping. It's not going to set you back a great deal if it's something you actually want to own. And I'm not necessarily recommending that you do. I think Niko Niko Pun might be some lost media that was better left lost. Some cutting room floor footage to put back on the cutting room floor and leave there. Somebody probably has fond, nostalgic memories of Niko Niko Pun from when they were young. I have nostalgic memories of the Great Space Coaster, and if there was a video game based on the Great Space Coaster, I would probably go out of my way to get it. But I don't know that one exists. I've never heard of it, never seen it. Don't think I'd ever find it. And I feel the same way about Niko Niko Pun. I didn't know it existed. I didn't think I would find it. And now that I found it, I actually feel like I'm not the audience for it because I have no nostalgic feelings about this show whatsoever. So it's clearly not for me. But, well, maybe it is for somebody out there. I can't totally discount that something in this would jog an emotional response for a Japanese viewer who grew up watching this series with Mother, as that My Anime List entry suggested. So I'm Mr. MegaManFan saying, don't play Niko Niko Pun unless you remember this show, and maybe not even if you do. Bye for now.